everybody. Welcome to another episode of Not Hardly Broken. I am Terrence and this is Kenya Hardley, and we're here back again, and we have more content. We thank you guys for liking what you see and sharing, as well as subscribing. And don't forget to hit that bell for future notifications. Absolutely. So what me and my lovely want to talk about today is after you say I do, and after you get married, when the two become one flesh, you're coming into a marriage. Hopefully, previous to getting married, you had some good spiritual counseling sessions where you dealt with different topics and different issues and aspects of marriage, like finance, sex, communication, and all that good stuff. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And sometimes you're, in a marriage and you look up, it's 10, 12, 15 years done passed by, and you're trying to look at, is this the one that I said I do to? Because she has changed or he has changed and things like that. One of the things that is very important after you say I do is securing your marriage. Securing your marriage. And what I mean by that is you're taking, as a man, you're taking a young woman from someone else's household, someone else's daughter. You're taking her into your home, and now you're having you're married. You're married together, and marital bliss, hopefully. But then there's always going to be issues because there's still some baggage, some things that you got to deal with. Remember, you were single, and now you're, up against another person every day, waking up to this person every day, every single day, have to talk to this person, has to communicate with this person, have to trust this person every day. You weren't used to doing that because you were living life by yourself. And so the person that you're with may have some issues with trust, may have some issues with honesty, may have some issues with just, understanding their true self. And so as a man, one of the things that I had to do was secure my marriage. And what I mean by that was I wanted to let Kenya know that she is the only woman for me. And I want to not only tell her that, but I want to show her and prove to her that she is the only woman for me. She is my wife, and I'm going to love her until death do us part. So what does that mean? How do I show her after I tell her? Keeping everything open. Now that we're married, I don't have any secrets. Everything that I know, the friends that I hang out with, she knows, and vice versa. Every person that she knows, her friends, I know, people that we consider our friends, we should know about them. There shouldn't be any late night texts, emails, people sliding into DMs, Facebook Messenger or Twitter or anything like that that she doesn't know about. In fact, she has the passcodes to my phones, my personal and work phone. She has the password to my laptops. She, one of the things that she did was I brought her to my office when I was working, downtown in the office. I brought her to my office and introduced her to everybody, so everybody knows that I'm married, and that I love God, but first and foremost, that I am married. That I'm already taken, I'm off the market. That's very important because not only did I want my coworkers to know, but I also want her to know that I'm not hiding anything. There's no work wife at the job or at the office.
Right there. Ooh. Whole work wife. We have to abolish that whole concept. That is an absolute enmity between you and your spouse. We talking about you have some other part-time spouse in any other location. That is completely anti-marriage. And even though we make light of it and we joke about this, my work husband, no ma'am, and no sir. There is no work nobody at all. And women, men too, you know, it's not that you're trying to make your presence known at their work environment, like, you know, marking territory in a sense, but your relationship too should be open enough that you can kind of just flow in and out of each other's life wherever you are. His work life is work, yes, but he's still my husband. So even though he works for this company, he belongs still to me. And so I should have still access to him in some way, shape, or form. It's the division that creates the suspicion. It's the division that creates distractions. It's the division that creates space for DM movement. And if you don't know what DMs are, you know, that's that inbox, basically, on Instagram and things of that nature. But
yeah, that's just one of a couple of aspects of securing your marriage. But you know, the fact that she has access to my phones and laptops, you know, that's one thing. There's one instance where she went into my phone and I think she read my texts and stuff like that. And I was upset, not at the fact that she went into my phone, but the fact that she didn't trust me. And so, you know, in my private and quiet time, I was asking myself, okay, what am I doing to make her feel that she needs to go through my phone? Because if that's the case, that's going to be an issue moving down the road. You know, her not feeling secure, her heart is not feeling that I am securing her, protecting her. It's one thing to protect and to provide, but I have to provide security for her heart too. I have to protect her heart too. And so I was asking myself, what am I doing? How am I moving to make her think that there's something else going on outside of the doors, or outside when I leave the house in the morning to go to work, or when I go out, you know, grocery shopping, or when I go out hanging with the fellas, you know. So I had to really take a look at myself. Now, did I change my password? No. It's still, you know, she still has access to all of my devices. Did not change that. What I did change was, you know, more affirmations and, you know, letting her know that you still the one for me. I still love you.
You said, I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. You know, and that kind of tighten and strengthen our bond together. Because when a woman knows that she has a man that's not going anywhere, that's not looking anywhere else, she feels more secure and she's able to grow and flourish. Whereas in times past in the other relationships, she was not able to grow. She's able to do other things and exploits and ventures that she was not able to do, because now she's feeling free and she's feeling secure in her marriage.
And there's a part of that, you know, even in that sharing about me going through your phone, is that we, you know, people, period, I'm not just going to categorize it just as a woman, but we tend to sometimes have insecurities. And we are responsible for keeping all of that in check too. So there was nothing actually that Terrence was doing that, you know, would even lead me to feel like I needed to check his phone. But I was maybe having an insecure season or insecure period of time in my life. I can't even exactly remember what the reason was, but what I'm saying is we have to manage all of that, because if he hadn't been who he was and got introspective about that situation, that really could be a space for division, and then kind of cultivate this culture of not being able to trust in our home. And what instead, though, and this is why it's important to marry the right one. This is important to marry the right one, because his growth, his maturity made him go introspectively and figure out what he could do to be better or to ensure me a little bit more. However, someone else would be like, they sit with rocks in their jaws for weeks and months, and, you know, then they change their passwords and, you know, and all of that type of thing. It's just a lot of foolery that can go on if you don't marry the right one who has the maturity level to deal with your craziness, because sometimes we can get a little wiry and crazy too. And that was inappropriate for me to go through his phone. There was no reason to go through his phone. Absolutely none. But I do have access to it. I had access prior to then, and I still have access to it. And he does the same as mine. But you know, all of that to say, it's important to do your own work. It's important to do your own work. It's an ongoing process for each individual in the relationship.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, we can talk about this for some more, and we're probably going to do another episode to this, but, you know, a question just popped into my mind. I just felt, you know, one of the viewers asking, what if you have a friendship with the opposite sex, and now, you know, prior to meeting your wife, or prior to meeting your husband, your spouse, and
you gonna go there right now? Or you gonna wait?
No, just asking the question. We can go there, you know, real quick, and then jump in, jump out. But what if you have, you know, a friend of the opposite sex prior to meeting your spouse, and now you're married, and your spouse is like, cut it off. I don't want this relationship. I don't want you guys talking to each other. I know you had a friendship before you met me, but now you're with me now. You know, you're going to have to, you know, cut this thing off. So what do you do when that happens? That's a tough, you know, question, but you're going to have to make that decision. It's going to be a crucial decision of what you're going to do. Now, one of the things you can do is, if your wife or your spouse is feeling uncomfortable about this relationship, bring that person, you know, and let, you know, especially if your spouse doesn't know this person, have your spouse meet this person and understand the dynamics of this relationship. And hopefully this person of the opposite sex lets, you know, the spouse know, look, there's nothing going on. This is strictly a friendship. But if that's not the case, then you're going to have to make that decision, you know, that you're going to have to cut that friendship off, or let that friendship know that I'm with my wife now. And, you know, unfortunately, there's a level of uncomfortability, if that's a word, that is going on. The level of discomfort, excuse me. There's a level of discomfort in this relationship that I'm having. And I just want to really secure my spouse's heart right now. And so, you know, this is what I'm going to have to do. Hopefully you can understand. What do you say?
I say, absolutely, I agree with that. And it'd be a great thing if that individual has no reason to be seeking you out or has any different motives, you know, because something like that can actually determine what their motives are. If they're unwilling to break ties with you, that's one thing. But if this person that your spouse has been friends with for a while is a friend, indeed, they should be able to befriend you.
Yep.
You know, and you end up being a pretty good friend to this individual. You know, the basic of it all is being sure to protect your marriage. You know, even though this is a relationship that you had prior to the marriage, your marriage is your first priority now. And hopefully that friend would understand the difference in the relationship at this point. And it may be unfortunate that you might have to lose that individual, but the priority rests on the relationship, the marriage that you have.
Absolutely. So we're securing the marriage. That's what we're talking about. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Not Hardly Broken. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for future notifications. We love y'all.
Yes.
See you soon.
See you.